Hello everyone, this is going to be the last video for today. As you know, or if you watched the last video on killing a garden snake, you would have understood, or at least heard me say that I have had interruptions in my system, the recording system debut that I have here. So this video is going to be about anything that we want. Before I continue, you might hear beeping noises because I try to fix this as best as I can, and at least I'm able to get the audio working, so this is the least that I can put up with. So, source consciousness. Source slash higher self. So first of all, there is no such thing as let's just say that at the highest level of awareness, as the closer you get to the truth, it's very difficult for you to lie, because every element of every being in each person's body is in agreement with ultimate beauty the closer you get. So self-deception is very difficult when you get closer and closer to the purity of the entire light, source consciousness, what some people call God. It is not complicated. It's not complicated. That which some people call source or God is merely light. Light is not physical. It's something that, well, I've done the eye experiment with you, well, those of you who's watched some of my videos. But light is not tangible, so therefore it can take any form it wants. Light is embedded within the matrix. But basically, so why does source remain quiet for the most part? I mean, for example, why some people get more messages? Why do some people get more messages than other people? Or why are some people more in tune with their higher self or source self? Well, it has something to do with their ability to be honest with themselves and to remove the blockages that have been put upon them, or that which they have allowed to enter the system, either via a negativity, a blindness, or the victim mentality, or black magic, whatever it is. Black magic is not needed for entities to enter your body. You just have to engage in negativity and continue lying. The level of lies in this realm, aka planet Earth, and other realms, some other realms are worse. I visited, well, I've spoken about one particular realm in a previous video. So sources, each person's source or higher self, for the most part, is quiet within the body. The light is quiet because only a small portion of each person's light or soul is managing the experience, so at the helm of the experience. Whole of the daily activities, of the daily course of the experience. So that small portion of the light, that was already decided before that person entered this fake world. And so source is observing, and other elements of yourself are also having an experience in so-called other realms. I don't want to go off a tangent too much here, so let me just focus here. So source has been observing you for a long time. Your source has been observing your time, and the grand source, which is outside of the universe, has also been observing you for a long time. There comes a point where silence is the best medicine. You can talk to people until you die. You can talk to people until you collapse, until your energy drain out. And you have to remember that they have the right to do anything they want, even commit murder. And they also have the right to face the consequences. They don't want to face the consequences. It's to keep lying, and so they have a savior mentality. That's a form of lying. They're always calling on some savior, whether it's their family members or some religious figure. Of course, there are people who can help, but you have to drink the water. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him or her drink it. As such, Source has offered silence and observed silence. Each person's higher self or Source self is observing in silence because it is very logical. If you keep talking, nobody's listening, nobody cares. Your own self, a part of yourself, doesn't care enough to heed or take advice from you, then wouldn't it be stupid to keep talking, passing messages? What would be smarter would be every once in a while, when you know you can predict the future, your highest self can predict. So every once in a while, your highest self will give a hint, whether through a visual, through a dream, or whatever. Because that higher self knows, well, if I do this, maybe a million years down the line, that person is going to remember, or perhaps 10 years down the line, that person is going to remember, and this will help. But for the most part, most of what I have to say will not be listened to. So that, since the most of what I have to say will not be heeded, I also must pay attention to my energy. Because it is not love to keep giving, and drain your energy and have it go to waste. Because Source is also important. So it's not all about us, the little people who need saving. In Peru, 2 years ago, I felt the frustration of Source consciousness, the grand Source. At the time, I've spoken about this before. At the time, I didn't know why my Source self or higher self was showing me the message. I saw Source bringing extraterrestrials from other parts of the universe, pretty much everyone, pulling them all together, physically putting them together with humans to solve their own problems. I remember feeling the frustration of Source, the grand Source. And I had wondered why I didn't get like a cooler message. But now I understand. I understand that my frustration was also felt by Source. That people are not taking responsibility. Beings in the universe are not taking responsibility for their actions. White lies, trickery, self-deception, all of it. They don't apologize. They think it's okay. They think it's okay to kill a snake. Especially when they have had other clues, other levels of pain. Those of you who think that everything is an opinion, or who want to satisfy yourself through self-deception, what do you think happens when what do you think happens when one being of light returns to Source? The very definition of returning to Source means that being is bright enough to rejoin the whole, And do you seriously think that being would not have an influence, or at least would not be heard at the Source conscious level? Man, as for me, I will be pushing for more self-responsibility, ownership, because that's what was done for me. My source pushed me to take ownership, to suffer, regardless of the conditions. So, why does your source self seem to be silent? And why do people think that they don't have a soul that different? It's quite simple. It's because you've been deceiving yourself. You've been allowing yourself to be deceived by darkness and influences for a long time. So this game has nothing to do with how old you are. It is something you've been playing for a long time. And some of you are very good at lying to yourself. Some of you are very good at lying to himself or herself, ourselves. And so source will be quiet and help when he or she knows that the effort will be fruitful. If the effort will not be fruitful, then hey, Logic 101.